Welcome to Overgo World, making your life better through tech, vacations and other great things. Remember to subscribe so that you don't miss out on our latest videos. So you've hopefully bought the new Asus ROG Ally or Asus ROG Ally, however you want to pronounce it. However you pronounce it, it's a brilliant console. Check out our other videos to see why. But before you start getting into it, there's a few tips that I do want to recommend to you. So you have to remember this is running Windows 11. As a result, just like any PC, you've got to be wary of viruses. So I recommend you put on here some antivirus software. Obviously it comes with Windows Defender, and you can have that on there, but I've bulked it up with Bitdefender, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So I've installed that. So I'd recommend you make sure you've got some antivirus and anti-malware software on there. Some of you might be thinking, okay, well, Windows Defender does everything. On my laptop, I found that Windows Defender doesn't find some stuff which Bitdefender will clearly sort of block and prevent, especially if you're browsing or anything, because you can use this for browsing and you will be using it for downloading games and other things. So that's my first tip. The second tip is you must download all of the updates. Now, when you install this, you might be thinking, okay, well, it came up with a message saying looking for updates and it's installing them. That first install it does, when you take off the shrink wrap and you're installing it and it's finding some updates, does not install all of the updates. And what you must do is have a look in, and I think there's at least 3 places, if not more, and I'll sort of flag where the key ones are. So when you've actually got it all loaded up, if you go into the Windows menu and then you go into settings, and then you'll see Windows Update at the bottom here, and basically there'll be some there. I'd suggest you immediately, even if it's got some up there, you go check for updates, because it'll have the updates on the last time it checked. If you're going to do all the updates, you might as well get all of them. So click on check for updates and they'll come up. I had out the box, when I clicked on that, there were about over 20, probably 20 or 30 updates which needed to apply, some of which were critical. So you click on that and you apply all of those. You might be thinking, okay, that's great, that's job done. But no, even after you've applied those, there's a heck of a lot of more updates which need to sort of be applied. So the next bit to have a look at is if you go into the Armory crate, so you can do that through the button or you can sort of press it at the bottom. So if we go into Armory crate there, and then you go into, sorry, not settings, it's on content, you'll have Update Center, and you want to click on that. And then you want to click on check for updates again, and then it'll have all of those. So I'm just going to show you very quickly when I actually installed it. So these were still available to install, and as you can sort of see, there's some key updates there as well. I'm just going to click on check for updates if there's any more. But there was an update in here for the BIOS, which is quite important. So that's the underlying sort of firmware for this system, which needed to be updated as well. So that's another important thing to make sure that you do the update and you update all of those. Some of this will require some restarts as well. As I said, I've checked for updates. I'm fully up to date, so I'm okay on that. You might be thinking, okay, great, we've done the Windows update, we've done the Armory crate, but there's more. So what you need to do when you've done that is you then need to go into your My Asus app, which you'll find at the bottom, which is pre-installed. When you go into that, and I went into this, if you have a look here, it says your system is up to date. When I clicked onto there were these 4 updates. So as you can see, Screen Manager, Firmware Update Tool, BIOS Update, and then an important one also for the graphic driver. So you're going to need to update those. So there's going to be 2 BIOS updates. One is in Armory crate, one is in here. All you do is you just click on it, you go check for updates, and you just go install all. You follow the instructions, so just tap yes to install, and then it'll ask you for a restart, and then you go through like that. The other thing that I found there was an update was also in the actual Microsoft Store. So it came up with updates here as well. So when I went into there were a heck of a lot of updates there for some of the pre-installed software. So again, I just got a message for that when I actually went into there, and then I updated those ones as well. The library one, you know, and there are a number of items. And the other thing you'll actually probably see is that when you actually go into, because we've done a separate video for how to install Overwatch 2 on this, when you click on the install, it'll actually say to you, you know, you need an app to install this file, and it will redirect you to here. And then as soon as it does that, you'll have the option to sort of deal with your updates as well. So those are the updates you need to do. I'd recommend you install all of those before you start actually start installing other software on this, just to make sure everything works exactly as it should. When we tried it initially without the updates, just with the Overwatch install, it did have some issues. When we installed all of the system updates, everything went absolutely fine. So if you want this to sort of work, you know, smoothly, you know, put on your anti-malware software, put on the updates. So in Windows, in Armory Crate, in the My Asus or Asus or however you want to pronounce it app, and then also when I'd say those are the critical ones, and then when you get time, I'd go into the Windows Store and any pre-installed software you've got there, just update that as well. Okay, so we've got some great videos on this console, so please feel free to check those out. We hope you enjoyed watching this, so please feel free to hit the like button and remember to subscribe for great upcoming videos. Thank you and see you next time.